Now that you have an idea of what the Groundlings structure is, let's talk about their philosophy. What style of improv does the Groundlings teach? The Groundlings is very heavily focused on one thing. It's called point of view. They're very focused on helping you create characters who have a strong point of view and can see the world through that filter. Just to give you an idea, if somebody is very combative, and that's how they see the world, they want to argue with everybody. Not an easy choice for improv, but it is what came to my mind. There's also someone who's overly positive. Everything is sunshine and rainbows. No matter what happens to them, they will find the silver lining to the point of delusion. That's a point of view. That's a strong point of view. Just everything that happens to you is filtered through this. That's what you will learn at the Groundlings. And then how do you take that strong point of view and turn it into a character who is interesting to watch? How does that affect their body? How does that affect their voice? Or working the other way in, how do you take an interesting body shape and voice and turn that into a point of view that feels like a character an audience can connect to? That's the Groundlings philosophy in a nutshell. Different teachers will have different ways of kind of going about this and explaining it to you, but that part of it, the Groundlings is very focused on. They are working on helping you build good characters using strong point of view. Now we're getting into the more subjective part of the review. I'm gonna tell you what I think are some of the cons or kind of weaknesses of the program and what I thought are the positives. There's a lot of positives in the program. I've been making fun of it a little bit, but I am very glad that I took it. I think it was really important for me, and I think it made me a way better performer, better writer, better improviser. Totally worth it, but I do understand it's not for everybody, and I know people who it really did not help. So let's get into it. Some cons about how the program is structured. Whether you advance is 100% based on the teacher's opinion. There's no objective way, to do that. Now, luckily enough, if you get one teacher who you don't vibe with, you have 2 more shots, right? But it's just kind of upsetting that you could just get like a bad teacher or a bad class, or like not a bad teacher, but just a teacher who you don't connect with, or they don't help you, like somebody who you don't feel like helped you get better. And well, the $500 down the drain, you gotta roll again, gotta pay to roll the dice again. And it's just, totally up to teachers, and they're human. And it's hard to tell how much of this is true, but I have heard people say like, oh, they didn't like me, so they didn't pass me. And it's sometimes they'll say like, oh, you're definitely not ready. But then like you go to the next class and that next person is like, I don't understand why you're still an intermediate. So people have had that kind of, it's just very subjective. Because of the pass-fail system, and the fact that whether or not you pass or fail is 100% based on that one person's opinion of your improv, sometimes that's not great. But luckily you do have a chance to try again. It just, again, sucks that trying again costs $500. A lot of the teachers in the program can be pretty harsh. Like, everybody has their own style. Some people are a little bit more nice, some people are a little more energized, some people are kind of low energy, and they will tell you in hurtful ways what they think you're doing wrong. I've had friends get asked why are you even here? I've had people in class look like they're about to start crying because they're getting this feedback in a way that hurts them. I've had teachers who would say that was a dumpster fire, which a lot of people really like that. It's good to have honesty, but the teachers at the Groundlings are harsh. A lot of times when we take improv classes, everybody's like, oh, we're doing this magical thing and we're learning together and it's all about play. And the Groundlings say that, but they don't mean it. They don't, sometimes they do. Some of the teachers might mean it a little bit more than others, but they don't really mean it. They want you to do well. They want you to make really good characters and be consistently funny and do it under pressure. Which, I'm saying it's a con, but it's also kind of a pro, because comedy, Hollywood, acting, these are insanely hard. These are hard things. People are going to be mean to you. I honestly think that the Groundlings can help toughen your skin and get used to that criticism, get used to being directed by a jerk. If you're kind of scared about improv and you're just getting into it, Groundlings is not the place to start, because they will yell at you. I've seen people get yelled at in class. I think that is definitely a con, because it's really hard to do good improv if you are stressed out, and the Groundlings program can be stressful. It can also be extremely magical and fun, and you can improve a lot. And I've seen the Groundlings take people and make them dislike improv, dislike doing improv. So I would say go into it knowing that you have a very firm love for improv and for comedy, and just be ready to have that tested. Especially, honestly, if you think you're real good, if you think you're very, very good, or if you, so like kind of two poles. If you think you're super good at improv, you're super funny, or if you don't have any confidence at all, just be ready to be challenged. Both of these poles, you definitely need a healthy dose of humility and skill, like a combination of the two, to really feel comfortable at Groundlings. Both of these poles will have a hard time, so just be ready for that. Be ready to be tested. So, pros of the program. What does this program do really well? Obviously, they teach point of view, building characters from point of view. They're very good at that. It's really helpful to learn characters. So one of the reasons that I went into Groundlings, not only because I love improv, but I had been getting a lot of feedback that all of my characters just sounded like me. They all had my voice. It was like, even if I wrote a scene with like 5 people in it, it was just like 5 Rileys talking to each other. Going to Groundlings, I don't get that note anymore. I understand now how to build out a point of view that feels realistic as I want it to, as silly as I want it to, but always comes from a place of honesty and just dedication to a point of view. You really do learn how to do that point of view. You learn how to make characters. Like you will learn how to do at least some characters. If you at least make it to intermediate and you don't give up after your first fail, you will learn how to be better at characters. And like I said previously, it will teach you how to take feedback. This is hard. This is a hard business. People are mean. And also, besides people being mean, like, you need to be able to take criticism and improve. You need to be able to hear it, internalize it, and get better without it making you so sad you want to give up on everything. And that's a good thing about the program. The program really helps with that. So there's the pro. If you deal with all the cons and you make it at least to your second round of intermediate, I am confident that you will improve your character work. So who should go to Groundlings? In my opinion, who would benefit from it? If you are just dreaming of getting on SNL via Groundlings, because they have a lot of alums who went on to big things, like Lisa Kudrow did Groundlings. That's a one that Melissa McCarthy did Groundlings. This is the way that they will advertise to you. They're trying to sprinkle Hollywood's glitter in front of your eyes so that you will stick with the program. Honestly, if your only goal is to get to be a Groundling or get on SNL, that's not enough. That's not enough of a reason to go to the Groundling school, because at the very least, it will take years upon years, and it is a very discouraging journey. If you do not have another motivation to getting there, you will not stay with the program. And most likely, like statistically, you're not gonna make it to be a Groundling. Like, I'm still hoping, I'm still gonna try to finish the program. I'm gonna get as far as I can. But if you're just like, the only reason I am here is because I know if I become a Groundling, then I will probably make it as an actor. That is not a good enough reason to stay motivated. And it also is a waste of your time, because if that is the only reason you are there, you will almost certainly not make it to the Groundlings main stage. You will probably have a hard time making it to Sunday Company. It's just a very hard program, and you need some type of motivation besides imagining yourself on SNL. That's it. And then you want to feel like if you do get cut earlier than that, if you don't make it to Groundlings, you want to feel like your $2,000, $3,000 that you spent on classes was valuable to you, right? I would just say, if that is your only motivation, see if there are other reasons why you might want to take the class that will help you stay motivated longer and make you not feel like crap and want to give up on your dreams completely if you get cut after your third time trying intermediate. Just saying. So what do I think are the helpful, perhaps healthy reasons to want to take Groundlings? If you are a writer who wants to improve your characterizations, if you want to improve your ability to write from other points of view potentially besides your own, or just figure out how to more succinctly express your own, it's super helpful. Like I said, totally corrected that problem for me. I can write people who don't just sound like me now. Victory! For writers who want to get better at writing characters with strong points of view, or just writing better characters, Groundlings is super helpful. I haven't even taken their sketch classes yet, and I feel like it really improved my writing, so that is super helpful. Actors with some improv experience, I think would benefit from this. If you want to be an actor, I think you will benefit from the Groundlings if you want to act professionally. One, super great for networking, really awesome for networking. I met so many cool people, we're doing so many cool projects. It's really just made my time here in LA like so much more vibrant in that way. Lots of really good friends from the Groundlings. One, networking. Two, it's all about performance and really digging into a character, bringing it into your whole body. Even if you're not a comedic actor, I still think this could help you, especially if you have a hard time like embodying another person. If you want to increase your range as an actor, this is definitely a good school, and I think it would be a very good commitment of your time. If you have some improv experience, starting with no improv experience, like I've seen people in like my basic class who had acting experience, they were actors, but they didn't have any improv experience. You spend so much time playing catch up, trying to learn how improv works, that I don't think you really get much else out of the class. You're just so worried about not passing because you're like trying to keep these new terms, yes, and no questions, but I have to stay present, and my partner is a genius and a poet. You know, you're trying to keep all these improv new rules in your head. It's probably easier to get some improv experience at a different theater, and then once you have some improv experience, come back and do Groundlings. If you already have improv experience and you're an actor, I would definitely recommend Groundlings. I would say for comedians, like stand-ups, because I've also seen people take Groundlings who are stand-up comics or maybe like stand-ups and sketch writers. I don't know if this is really gonna help you. I think other things might help you more directly. Again, like I said, my sketch writing got better. So if you consider yourself a sketch writer, and you want to improve your characters and your own character performance, could be very helpful. But if you're like exclusively a stand-up, this really won't help you. There are stand-up schools and that will help you more. And if you're just trying to get more flexibility in your work, you're trying to just imbibe some improv principles, a different school would be better. I guess basically it all comes down to if you just want to enjoy improv or just get better at improv, I don't know if I would recommend the Groundlings. But if you want to get better at characters, if you want to get better at performing with a strong character, a strong point of view, embodying that, moving like that person, having all of that align, definitely Groundlings, amazing. Super good program for that. So that's the summary. Of course, it's all just my opinion. Like I said, there are sections of the school that I have not taken. I also try to incorporate the feedback I've gotten from other people who have made it farther in the program and then flunked out. Feedback of just like my teachers talking to me, the people who have made it really far in the program. Try to incorporate all that as well as my own impressions. But again, this is all opinions, but I do hope that it helps you decide whether Groundlings is worth the time and money for you. If you're still not sure, you have any other questions about the program, feel free to throw that into the comments below. I will definitely get back to you and answer that. If you have any other suggestions for comedy videos, things that you'd really like to learn about, chuck it in down below. I have done and do sketch comedy, stand-up, improv, straight plays, as it were. I done it all, baby. So go ahead, throw any questions or requests you have, and I would love to help you out with that. If you are a performer and you are interested in auditioning for anything ever, we have a guide that will help you. It's called How to Nail Your First Audition. But even if you've already gone on your first audition, this can be helpful if you are struggling to get roles or just struggling to find auditions, you're not really sure how to do that, check it out. We have that guide. It's super helpful. I built it with another actor, Juan Sebastian Cruz, who's an actor and circus artist, working actor and circus artist. So check that out. It also was vetted by several other of my acting friends and members of the network. This shit works. Check it out. It'll help you nail that first audition as well as find auditions at all, which can be very challenging. Link in the description. But most importantly, let's go make some comedy.